All right, this is the Algebra 2 Quadratic Inequalities. This is the quiz section. So let's get started. So what is the solution set of the inequality of that? Okay, so first of all, you want to set this equals to 0. So you solve for it. X is going to equal to 2. And you want to set this x plus 4 equals to 0. Okay, so x plus 4 equals to 0 means that x is going to equal to negative 4. Okay, on the number line, you're going to plot those two critical points. So it's going to be negative 4 and 2. Okay, now I'm going to be looking at the inequality symbol. So that doesn't have an equal sign, so which means that you're going to have two open circles. Okay, now I'm going to be testing with the points. So I'm going to use the 0 to as a test. So if you're plugging 0 in there into the x, or two x's, you guys are going to find out that this is going to be 5. So multiply by 0 minus 2, that's going to be a negative. Okay, and then 0 plus 4, that's going to be a positive. And then is that going to be greater than 0? So 5 times the negative times the positive is going to get you a negative value. You don't actually have to solve for it. So you just need to know that, can a negative be greater than a 0? The answer is no, right? So which means that the one I'm testing out, the interval that contains 0, is not going to be part of your solution. So use the concept of alternating intervals. That means that the other two are going to be your solution. So in order to write the solution set using the inequalities, so it's going to be x is less than, this is going to be your x, so x is less than negative 4, and this is going to be your x, or x is greater than 2. So make sure you guys check that number, letter B. Well, there's no letter, sorry. All right, so a graph of quadratic function of that, it's showing you. Okay, so here let's analyze this one. This is basically saying y is greater or equal to 0. Okay, in order for y is greater or equal to 0, that means that y can equal to 0 or y is positive value. Okay, now you just check this parabola. This parabola is where y is on the positive side. Okay, so the whole entire parabola is on the positive side, which means that it doesn't matter what the x value is, you are always going to get y, whether it's equal to 0 or positive. Okay, so which means that in this case, it's going to be all real number for the x. All right, so let's look at the next one. So for this one, what you want to do is understand that this is going to be a really interesting topic here. Actually, let me just rewrite this. 6x squared plus 1 is less than or equal to 0. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to subtract 1 on both sides. Okay, so I have 6x squared, this is canceled, less than or equal to negative 1. Okay, I'm going to make a quick analysis here. So x squared is always going to give you positive. Okay, always positive, unless you put in a 0 or it's going to be 0. Okay, so here is how you're going to figure out the answer. So can a positive be less than or equal to negative 1? No, no way, right? Okay, what about 0 less than or equal to negative 1? Heck no, right? So in this case, no solution. Okay, so let's go on and do the next one. So what's the solution set of that? So let me rewrite this, make a quick analysis. Okay, so in this case, you could have the inequality be two things. It could be a positive or it could be a 0. Okay, how do you make this become a 0? So if you set x equals to negative 2, so plug in negative 2 in there, and then you're going to have this expression inside of parentheses equal to 0, and 0 squared, 0, 0 times 4, 0. Okay, so you can make the whole entire expression equal to 0 if you plug in x equals to negative 2. Okay, now any other values. Doesn't matter what you plug in for x. X could be a negative value or x could be a positive value. You are eventually going to get a positive for the entire expression. Okay, so that doesn't fit our description because we're looking for less than 0. Okay, so this positive is going to be out of the picture. We just want to focus on because there is an equal sign, so it could equal to 0 in this case. So this is the one we're going to be looking for. So we want to make that equal to 0. So which means that your solution, the only solution in this set, is going to be x equals to negative 2. So check the first one. All right, so number 5, I'm gonna be a little bit of a, I'm gonna just give you guys the answer on this one. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the graph. Okay, so this is where there's shading. Okay, apparently it looks like it's shading downward. So you need to understand that if it's shading down, this is going to be y is less than or equal to, because this is solid line, I'm not line, but solid for the quadratic, right? So it's going to be less than or equal to. So which means that you're going to cross out the second one and the fourth one. Okay, so you're going to pick whether first one or third one. Okay, so because this lesson is not teaching or asking you how to graph parabolas, so I don't want to get into it. I'm just going to let you guys know that. Just check the first one. All right, so let's look at the next one. So that's all right. So look at this. These are your critical points. So critical point is x equals to negative 4 and then x equals to 2. Okay, there are open circles, so you're about to see inequality symbols without the equal sign. Okay, so how do you use the reverse way to find out what the quadratic equation is? So first you want to do is you're going to add 4 on both sides. If you pay close attention to this, this is basically the reverse way of finding out what the quadratic equation is. So you're going to have x plus 4 and you're going to have x minus 2. Okay, so these are going to be the two factors. You're going to multiply each other using the FOIL method. Multiply each other, FOIL it. You should be able to get x squared plus 2x minus 8. Okay, so let's see which ones are the ones that's not going to be your answer. So first one apparently is not. Third one apparently is not. So you're just going to pick between 2 and 4. Okay, so the inequality symbols are the only ones that's different. Okay, so let's analyze this. Every time when you guys see the solution, it's going to be in between two critical points. This is usually from the less than symbol. Okay, so the less than is going to give you solution between two critical points. Okay, so which means that you want to choose letter B. All right, so the height of a triangle is 4 inches greater than twice of its base. So this is some key information we need. And they said that the area of the triangle is no more than 168. So what's the inequality if I said that the base, we're going to use x, the variable x for the base. Okay, so let's write down the equation for the triangle. So area of the triangle is 1/2 of base times height. Okay, so earlier we talked about that the base, we're going to use x to represent the base, and they said the height is going to be 4 greater than twice of the base. Okay, so this is what you're going to do. You're going to multiply them. So area is equal to x multiplied by 2x plus 4. don't forget about, and I just forget about 1/2. Okay, what we're gonna do next is we're going to factor out the 2. So it becomes 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Okay, rewrite everything else. And you can notice that 1/2 and 2, they actually multiply each other and it becomes 1. So your answer is going to be a equals to x multiplied by x plus 2. Okay, now it says that no more than 168. So let me just add on to it. So no more than, which means that you're going to have less than or equal to 168. So this is the one you want to focus on. Okay, so you want to choose letter B. 3 to go. So an object, it doesn't have a lot to do, a lot of calculation here. So basically it gives you the equation right here. Okay, so let me rewrite this. So d is equal to negative 16t squared plus 1000. And then it said that somewhere over here it says greater than 300 feet. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to put greater than 300 feet. Okay, so you're going to just focus on this. And here you are. You got the answer right here, letter D. So let's look at the next one. So the equation they're going to give you is right here. Okay, so we're going to rewrite this. So S of t is equal to negative 16t squared plus 25. Okay, that's the distance. All right, so next thing you want to do is understand that when we say moving through the air, which means that it's going to leave the ground. Okay, so we know that this is the distance travel. So this S of t has to be greater than 0. Okay, moving through the air, so it has to be greater than 0. Okay, in order to travel in the air. So now we're gonna just be focusing on this. All right, so that inequality is the one that we try to focus on. We're gonna try to find out what the t is. That's what's asking, right? So which interval of t? All right, so I'm gonna rewrite with a different color. So negative 16t squared plus 25 is greater than 0. First thing you want to do is you want to subtract 25 on both sides. Okay, so you got negative 16t squared is greater than negative 25. Now you're going to divide it by negative 16 on both sides. Okay, so you have t squared is greater than, oops, sorry, because you divide by a negative, so the sign is going to flip, right? So it's going to revert, it's going to go in reverse. So 25 over 16, positive. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is that you want to square root both sides. Okay, so after you square root both sides, what's going to happen is that you're going to see t is less than positive negative 5 over 4. Okay, so you're going to have to write it in 2 different inequalities, but actually the way you actually have to do it is that you should put the other inequality, the negative, on the other side, kind of like the absolute value. Okay, so you're going to put negative 5 over 4. So let me erase the negative from here. Okay, so make a quick analysis again. Okay, I'm using a lot of word analysis here. So can your t be a negative value? Okay, I'm not giving you guys time to think. The answer is no. Okay, so the minimum is to be able to travel in the air is that your t has to be greater than 0. Okay, so in this case, you have to actually generate it with the understanding of that t must be greater than 0. Okay, in this case, it's going to be less than 5 over 4. So the one you want to choose is going to be letter B. Last question. So the area of the conference table. Okay, so understand first, area is length times width. Okay, now they're going to give you a couple of informations. So no more than 175. So no more than 175. Okay. Next, let's insert some variables in there. They said that width is x. So width is going to be x. The length of the table is going to be 18 more. So it's going to be x plus 18. Okay, so these are the ones that we're going to be focusing on, like right here. All right, so I'm going to rewrite this. X plus 18 multiplied by x is less than or equal to 175. Okay, so you're going to multiply it. Distribute the x. So you're going to get x squared plus 18x. What I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 175 on both sides. I want to set one side equals to 0. So subtract 175. This is going to be less than or equal to 0. Okay, I'm going to factor this. So that will be x plus 25, x minus 7, less than or equal to 0. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and set each expression equal to 0. You're going to find out that x is equal to negative 25, x is equal to 7. Okay, so let's look at this one more time. Let's analyze this. We're talking about x is the length of width. Okay, so can the length of any side be a negative value? Heck no, right? So the only one you want to choose is going to be 7. Okay, but we're talking about inequality, so it's going to be x is less than or equal to 7. One more analysis. So can x value be 0? Can x be 0? Have you ever heard like any length that equals to 0? Or any width that equals to 0? No, right? Okay, so that means that your width has to be greater than 0. In this case, less than or equal to 7. Okay, so choose the second one. Peace out. That's it. Good luck.